Thank you for joining us and welcome to this Markets.com country profile on India. I'm your host, Armando Gutierrez Jr. India has a population of over 1.15 billion people, with its currency being the Indian rupee. The INR is currently valued at 42 to the US dollar. Now let's take a look at India's economy. India has a highly industrialized and advanced producer of textiles, petroleum, chemicals, transportation equipment, and machinery. The current account balance of India is $17.5 billion in deficit, with imports of $230 billion and exports of $150 billion. India's major exports include chemical, petroleum products, textile goods, gems, jewelry, and engineered goods. Imports include machinery, crude oil, gems, fertilizer, and chemicals. India's real GDP growth in 2007 was 9.2%, with a GDP of 1.1 trillion in nominal terms and 2.99 trillion based on purchasing power parity. When examined per capita, India's GDP based on purchasing power parity comes out to just over 2,700 per capita. As for unemployment, India is currently 7.2% unemployed and facing an inflation rate of 7.8%. As for cash flows, foreign direct investment inflows were 95.28 billion and outflows amounted to 37.6 billion. Now let's take a look at the Indian markets. Let's move to India's premier exchange, the National Stock Exchange, and the Bombay Stock Exchange, both located in Mumbai. The National Exchange's main index is the S&P CNX Nifty. Bombay's is the BSE Sensex. The total exchange-wide market value of publicly traded shares totals $1.8 trillion. Now let's take a look at India's political structure. The country is a federal republic overseen by Chief of State and President Pratibha Patel and Chief Executive Prime Minister Manmohan Singh. India's main political forces are separatist factions and religious organizations. On the judiciaries, India's legal system is based on English common law with judicial review of legislative acts. Also, there are separate personal law codes applying to Muslim, Christians, and Hindus. Now into taxes. The top rate of personal income tax and corporate tax is 30%. The corporate tax for foreign companies is 40%, and there exists a complex system of exceptions that can effectively reduce the taxes for Indian corporations to well below 20%, while all other companies pay 10% on tax profits. Let's take a look at the top 5 of India's big business companies listed on the NSE and BSE, ranked by market cap. First, we have Reliance Industries. With a market cap of 95 billion US dollars, Reliance engages in the manufacturing and chemical industries. Next is the Oil and Natural Gas Corporation, with a market cap of 61.8 billion, which engages in the oil and natural gas industries. Third, we have Bharti Airtel, with a market cap of 48.17 billion. Bharti is a telecommunications company. NTPC is next on the list with a market cap of 45.26 billion US dollars. NTPC is the leading power and generator company in India. Our last big business is Reliance Communications. Reliance Communications has a market cap of 39.1 billion US dollars and is engaged in the telecommunications industry. Looking onto the future of India, the target for deficit for 2008 and 2009 is 2.5% of its GDP. However, expect the deficit to somewhere around 3.4%. Expect continued tight monetary policy to curb inflation as the Reserve Bank of India increased the funds rate above 8%. Inflation should average 7.1% for 2008 and 6.2% for 2009. As a result of rising fuel prices, inflation leapt to over 11% in June, a 13-year high. Similarly, expect to slow to around 7.5% for 2008 and 6.2% for 2009. This concludes our presentation of India. I'm your host, Armando Gutierrez Jr., and thank you for joining us.